Good morning, I'm Nivareti Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Thursday, 30th of April. In this update, Winston Peters has reportedly apologised after his office released emails suggesting Christopher Luxon wanted New Zealand to express more explicit public support for the United States military action against Iran. The emails released to the Herald suggest Peters and his staff talked the PM out of this. Peters says at the time he considered the move imprudent and against the country's interests. Luxon's office now says the emails mischaracterised the PM's position, and it's accused Peters of putting politics ahead of national interests by releasing them. It says the pair met at the Beehive last night, where Luxon made it clear he expected Peters to show better judgment. London's Met Police are declaring the stabbing of two Jewish men on a Golders Green Street an act of terror. The victims, aged 76 and 34, are in a stable condition. Police have arrested a 45-year-old man on suspicion of attempted murder. Met Police Commissioner Sir Mark Rowley says they're dealing with a sustained threat against British Jews coming from multiple sources, including the Iranian state, terrorist groups and extreme right and left-wing racists. The Australian government standing by its response to the global fuel shock after a dramatic rise in inflation. Its headline inflation rate has surged from 3.7% in February to 4.6% in March. Australian Treasurer Jim Chalmers says it reflects the rise in fuel prices before fuel excise was temporarily slashed. New Zealand's headline inflation rate came in at 3.1% in the March quarter. A global ratings agency's estimated nice-to-have council spending could actually be as low as 10%. The government's proposed capping rates at 4% to control increases. The Prime Minister last year warned communities are sick of seeing rates spent on nice-to-haves rather than must-haves. But a new report from S&P says the cap could cut into core services and force councils to reduce library and pool hours. And it also warns councils may delay needed investment or rely on debt to fund projects. A growing imbalance between energy supply and demand. Insights from the World Energy Council suggest affordability is no longer the leading cause of uncertainty, although remaining a priority. Business NZ Energy Council Policy Advisor Ben Young says we seem to have a better understanding of how to handle costs. He says uncertainty is instead rising around supply and demand, driven by a sharp fall in domestic gas production. Young says at the same time, demand is set to rise due to electrification of transport and industry and the introduction of large data centres. In sport, torrential rain has ended the Black Caps' hopes of a T20 series win in Bangladesh after the second international in Chittagong was abandoned without a ball bowled. 20-test Scotland international Brendan Laney is pushing New Zealand rugby to reconsider All Black eligibility laws as more young players head to Europe. Yannick Sinner's daunting tune-up for the French Tennis Open continues, extending his winning streak to 21 matches at the Madrid Open. The women's Black Sticks have beaten a local club side 4-2 at the Invitational Hockey Tournament in China. I'm Nivareti Manu, and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.